Grateful to the Lord to be here with all of you, and may God bless.
You must be wondering why we are doing this particular chapter, so many parts. And I don't know when I'm going to finish it because we are studying the book Christ Object Lesson. Maximum, we just go for part two. And here we are going to part three. And further, we will have one more part because we are dividing this chapter into different themes. The first portion we were examining the event, that an invitation being extended, and who are the people, the categorized people that being invited, and now then they didn't come, and we studied that. That the host or the main person who was inviting, he changed the invitations and gave it to the normal people who are very poor and needy. Just asked them to come and gave them clothing and everything, and then they made them qualified to be there. And that is part one. And part two, we studied about the excuses, the people who didn't come, who got the personalized invitations, that they did not come, and what kind of excuses they gave, and how it is related to our time today. And today, it's another aspect we are going to study, that we are going to observe the gospel in this parable. The gospel, the good news, that eternal gospel in this parable. We are trying to get that essence. And also that our mission to the society is also being explained very correctly in this chapter. And I like to go to Christ Object Lesson, page 227. And in this we read, it pointed forward to his second coming in glory to redeem his people. And it set before men the hope through faith and obedience of sharing the inheritance of the saints in light. Now, the message, that the invitation extended, is being compared to the pointed forward to his second coming in glory to redeem his people. So this invitation is for the people who are going to be redeemed. And it is that, the invitation is being extended, saying, okay, you are invited, please come. You are invited. You are special. Please come. So this is a message that we are trying to study here. The signs in which he himself gave of his coming have been fulfilled, and by the teaching of God's word, we may know that the Lord is at the door. That he himself is talking about the second coming. Who? Jesus himself telling this parable and teaching about this parable. And we understand that he is at the door now, because everything is getting fulfilled. And anytime that, the last little things to be happen, and it will happen in double quick time. That's what we understand here. John in the Revelation foretells the proclamation of the gospel message just before Christ's second coming. He beholds an angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. So that's a message. Hour of his judgment is come. It is time for you to turn back. It is time for you to come to him. So that is a message that we have. And again, the proclamation of the judgment is an announcement of Christ's second coming as at hand. And this proclamation is called the everlasting gospel. Thus, the preaching of Christ's second coming, the announcement of its nearness, is shown to be an essential part of the gospel message. That we stopped there last week, and we understand that everlasting gospel is the message that we have to proclaim. Every other person that talking about secret rapture, they are talking about many other things. Oh, the floods are taking place because of the second coming is very close. And people are talking that, the terrorist activities are taking place, that one nation against another, or the one tribe against another tribe, and one religion against another religion. All these things are happening because the second coming is at hand. Of course, yes, there's no doubts about that. And those are the beginning, according to what we learned. And yet, so many other things to get fulfilled. Brethren, that we cannot expect another 100 more years to say that, okay, oh, this has to be fulfilled. Oh, this will take another 50 years. Oh, this will have to be fulfilled, and that will take another 70 years. We can't tell that. Everything can happen in, every day. Who knows? So next week, ready, everything fulfilled. We never know. And also, very importantly, we have to understand that this moment, this day, could be my last day. Who knows? We never know that, because we need to be ready. We need to be ready. And we never know how the end will come. If I die today, and today is my last day on earth, and judgment is done, finished, and am I ready for that? That is a question. We never know, brother, that anything can happen anytime to anyone. So nothing is predictable, because we don't know the future. We don't know the future. The people who fear about the future, they go to the fortune tellers and to see their horoscope and stuff. Those are satanic, and those are not relevant to us, and those are not accurate. Those are definitely going to be wrong. Even Jesus mentioned, actually, we understand the metaphor, the essence of that statement, that Jesus said that, his coming, we even no one knows, and even the Son of Man or the angels, no one knows. Only the Father knows. Okay. Okay. So that's what we have to understand. So that gives a very serious statement over there, that no one knows the future. So we need to be ready anytime, because Christ mentions here, the Christ says, I read further from page 228. Christ says, as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not, until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Referred from Matthew chapter 24, 37 to 39. And we understand that these are the words of Jesus. And very important, this particular part of the parable, because we are learning complete evangelism here. Okay, a neglected portion of evangelism. Men are rushing on in the chase of gain and selfish indulgence, as if there were no God, no heaven, and no hereafter. Why? People are after many things, because people think that the money is enough for me. I have money, so I can buy people. I can buy medicine. I can buy my health. I can buy everything. No, it is not. It is not possible. There are so many sicknesses on earth that the money cannot buy medicine for. So that is, we have to keep in mind. Further, we read from the same page, 2 to 8. The gospel invitation is to be given to all the world, to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. Revelation 14:6. That's what we understand very clearly here. The last message of warning and mercy is to lighten the whole earth with its glory. It is to reach all classes of men, rich and poor, high and low. Go out into the highways and hedges, Christ says, and compel them to come in, and my house may be filled. The world is perishing for want of gospel. There is a famine for the word of God. There are few who preach the word unmixed with human traditions. Though men have the Bible in their hands, they do not receive the blessing that God has placed in it for them. The Lord calls upon his servants to carry his message to the people. Now we go to the next page, and in that, there's another very important statement we read. The whole world is the field for Christ's ministers. The whole human family is comprised in their congregation. The Lord desires that his word of grace shall be brought home to every soul. Now, when we read that first sentence I read in these three, the whole world is a field for Christ's ministers. When we say ministers, people are having a misconception saying that, oh, this is talking about Christ's ministers, those who are being ordained and paid for and living on this ministry. No, it is not that. It has a wider scope, a wider view here. The Christ ministers are the people who are ministering to Christ. They are all called ministers here. And when we see that, it can be men and women, it can be girls and boys, so they all ministering for his cause, the spreading the gospel, giving the good news, and sharing the good news. And they are all can be called as ministers here because they are ministering. But when they are performing some special activity or the special position or responsibility, then we can call them as ministers. That they are ministering to that congregation. So these are two different understandings we need to have. I read further here. It reads that this was Christ's method. His work was largely made up of personal interviews. A nice strategy. Now the strategy is being presented here. He had faithful regard for the one soul audience. Through that one soul, the message was often extended to thousands. We are not to wait for souls to come to us. We must seek them out where they are. When the word has been preached in the pulpit, the work must just begun. There are multitudes who will never be reached by gospel unless it is carried to them. So the difference is that we cannot expect the church to come to you, that you need to take the church to them. The congregation or the people won't come to the church, come into the church, but we have to take the church to those people. What do you mean by church? That our love, our fellowship, our harmony, and our kindness and friendship should be extended to the people who need the gospel, because gospel is being preached in the church, inside the church. But now Jesus is calling us to preach it outside and take the message to them. Take the message to them. Don't wait. Don't wait for them to come. It is a home delivery system. We have to go in search of them. The invitation to feast was first given to the Jewish people, the people who had been called to stand as teachers and leaders among men, the people in whose hands were the prophetic scrolls foretelling Christ's advent, and to whom was committed the symbol of service, foreshadowing his mission. Had priests and people had heeded the call, they would have united with Christ's messengers in giving the gospel invitation to the world. The truth was sent to them that they might impart it. It is exactly what we are today. The truth is being given to us. The fullest truth is being given to you and me. And what are we doing? Just like the Jewish people that day, that we are not proclaiming, we are not telling the truth, we are not talking about Jesus, we are not talking about his coming and the good news, the gospel, the eternal gospel. That we have to understand and keep in mind. Now, the biggest worry is being mentioned by Jesus, that we are not we are not going to the all the places. We have selective way of doing it. Now, what kind of negligence or that we have done or we have not, I could say we have not done. Okay. Now, advice to the workers or the messengers. Who are the messengers? Who are the ministers? I already explained. Each one of us are the messengers. Each one of us are ministering to him. All of us. So our responsibility is explained in the next paragraph. Very clear. I come to Christ Object Lesson, page 230. Here it says, I quote here. Let the Lord's messengers bear this in mind to the shepherds of the flock. The teachers divinely appointed, it should come as a word to be heeded. Those who belong to the higher ranks of society are to be sought out with tender affection and brotherly regard. Men in business life, in high positions of trust, men with large uh, inventive faculties and scientific insight, men of genius, teachers of gospel whose minds have not been called to the special truth for this time. These should be the first to hear the call. To them, the invitation must be given. So, how are we doing this? We have a very bad habit among us, all of us, that we never go to these elite people, those who are learned, those who are high in the society, those who are elite community. They were not being told, and they are not getting the message. That is a warning we hear from the Lord. The inspired word of Ellen G. White, it is very clear to us. And I don't want to skip any sentence here, that I want to read the whole paragraphs here so that we understand every word. Please pay attention, because it is very important for us to understand, because this area is being neglected. This area is being neglected. We are not going to them. We are not talking to them. We are always in a comfort zone. It can be a language barrier, it can be a society, the social barrier, it can be my knowledge, it can be the inferiority complex that I am suffering of. So we need to break that barricades and go forward. Listen to his word. I urge your attention here. I quote, there's a work to be done for the wealthy. They need to be awakened to their responsibility as those entrusted with the gifts of heaven. They need to be reminded that they must give an account to him who shall judge the living and the dead. The wealthy man needs your labor in the love of fear of God. Too often he trusts in his riches and feels not his danger. The eyes of his mind need to be attracted to things of enduring value. He needs to recognize the authority of true goodness, which says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Those who stand high in the world for their education, wealth, or calling are seldom addressed personally in regard to the interests of the soul. Many Christian workers hesitate to approach these classes, but this should not be. If a man were drowning, we would not stand by and see him perish because he was a lawyer, a merchant, or a judge. If we saw a person rushing over a precipice, we would not hesitate to urge them back, whatever might be their position or calling. Neither should we hesitate to warn men of peril of the soul. So this is very clear, brethren. We have people among us who are being called to do many responsible positions, and maybe that is because of their wealth, education, their ability and talent. Why not? That's okay. But it is our duty to go to them and talk about Jesus. What we do is we always go to the people who are lower than me, and I go there and talk to them, expecting them to listen to me. And they think that I am a well-educated man, and this man is coming, and it's a privilege to listen to him. No, brethren, that we are by doing that we are neglecting another class in the society. That's the warning that we are getting here. This parable is a very clear explanation, analysis of the true evangelism, the true mission of a church. It's very clear. That's why I'm taking time to learn this. We all should learn this together. I go to the next page, 231 of Christ's Object Lesson. Here we read, "None should be neglected because of their apparent devotion to worldly things. Many in high social positions are heart sore and sick of vanity. They are longing for a peace which they have not. In the very highest ranks of society are those who are hungering and thirsting for salvation. Many would receive help if the Lord's workers would approach them personally with a kind manner, a heart made tender by the love of Christ. The people who are there are starving. They are starving. They are having all the money under the sun, but they don't have the truth. They don't have the peace. So who are misleading them and getting benefited? The gurus, so-called gurus, they go and present to them, "Oh, you do yoga, you do the Surya Namaskar, maybe the sun worship, and you recite this," and so many things they give, you know, and then they gain lot of financial the gifts they receive. They're doing it for that. That is the money making machine they have with them. They are so tactful. They are so tactful. Sister White warning about that as well. But then we may say that, no, we cannot do that because we are very simple people. How can we go to them? Now, Christ Object Lesson, page 232, we read here, "Thousands can be reached in the most simple and humble way. The most intellectual, those who are looked upon as the world's most gifted men and women, are often refreshed by the simple words of one who loves God and who can speak of that love as naturally as the worldling speaks of the things that interest him most deeply. Often the words well prepared and studied have but little influence, but the true honest expression of a son or a daughter of God, spoken in natural simplicity, has power to unbolt the door to hearts that have long been closed against Christ and his love. So this is very clear. We only have to talk about Christ, whom we know, the Christ love, what we experience. Just we share with our own words naturally, nothing put on, nothing added, nothing deleted. And we go ahead with this message, what we have, what we know. We can simply say that, okay, this is all I know. So if you want to know more than this, my pastor is there, my elder is there, and we have our brothers and sisters who may be able to teach you more than me. So this is all I know. They will love that simplicity. The people who need Christ, people who need that love of Christ and the touch of Christ, they love that simplicity, that honesty. Let the workers of Christ remember that he is not to labor in his own strength. Let him lay hold of the throne of God with faith in his power to save. Let him wrestle with God in prayer and then work with all the facilities God has given him. The Holy Spirit is provided as his efficiency. Ministering angels will be by his side to impress hearts. If the leaders and teachers at Jerusalem had received the truth Christ brought, what a missionary center their city would have been. Backslidden Israel would have been converted. A vast army would have been gathered for the Lord, and how rapidly they could have carried the gospel to all parts of the world. What a beautiful statement here. And if that fulfilled, and if that happened in that way, Jerusalem could have been our headquarters. That is what is mentioned here. And we quickly go to the next page, and we try to understand that the the most important part here we see. But we are not to think only of great and gifted men or the neglect of the poorer classes. To the neglect of the poorer classes. That only we are gifted to go to the neglect and the poor people, the blue collared people, or we just go to the people who really may not chase us off. Christ instructs his messengers to go also to those in the byways and hedges, to the poor and lowly on the earth, in the courts and lanes of the great cities, in the lonely byways of the country, are families and individuals, perhaps strangers in the strange land, who are without church relations and who, in their loneliness, come to feel that God has forgotten them. We have a special mission for them. People are thinking that God has forgotten and He's not coming to us, and we need His mercy, and we need Him. And nobody is coming to talk to us. We are being neglected. They do not understand what they must do to be saved. Many are sunken in sin. Many are in distress. They are pressed with suffering, want, unbelief, despondency. Disease of every type afflicts them, both in body and in soul. They long to find a solace for their troubles, and Satan tempts them to seek it in lusts and pleasures that lead to ruin and death. He is offering them the apples of Sodom that will turn to ashes upon their lips. They are spending their money for that which is not bread, and their labor for that which satisfieth not. They are not getting satisfied, but they are spending everything on that. They are not happy, but they don't know where to go, what to learn, and what to do. They feel some loneliness. So, how can we help them? So, that is being explained here. Though they have erred and have not been building a right character, God has joy to restore them, even the joy of his salvation. He delights to take apparently hopeless material, those through whom Satan has worked, and make them the subject of his grace. He rejoices to deliver them from the wrath, which is to fall upon the disobedient. Tell them there is healing, cleansing of every soul. There is a place for them, that a Lord's table he is waiting to bid them welcome. So, today's message is always talking about a neglected portion of people, people of the elite community, people of the high society. We need to go to them. It doesn't mean to say that we should ignore the people of the simple people who are simple in the society or in the lower caliber. No, everyone is equal in God's sight. So, what we learn here is we need to go to that neglected elite society. That is the message for today. But next week we will be studying another group that is not understood the message clearly. That group, they worship and they study and they have the knowledge, but that knowledge is not enough. That knowledge is not enough. They don't have the fullest gospel. They have a simple gospel, not the eternal gospel. So we talk about them next week, God willing. All the blessings, honors, and prayers we should ascend to him, one who provided the strength. Amen.